Hi guys, welcome to week day 9 of Savor at Home. What we're going to be trying today is a Speyside scotch that is peaty. I thought we'd move into that since yesterday we had an Isla scotch that was not peaty. So we are going to try the Balvenie Peat 2003 edition, 14 years old. We've had Balvenie already during these tastings, and the Balvenie is a distillery in Speyside, Scotland, and Speyside is not known for having peaty whiskies. So the peat comes from the drying of the malted barley, Balvenie has chosen to do 1 week out of the year to do a heavily peated malting. So for this one in particular, for this 2003 vintage, it was week 34 out of 52. This bottle is about $100 and it's 48.3% ABV. Now it is a single malt Scotch whiskey, so it is made from 100% malted barley entirely at the Balvenie Distillery. Now, the Balvenie is a distillery that grows their own barley, malts their own barley, and they use traditional floor maltings. And for this release, the amount of peatiness that you'll get is 30 ppms. So that means 30 phenolic parts per million. So the phenols are the smokiness that you're getting. This is not super high relative to what you'll find in some Isla scotches, but it's still very noticeable. And the measurement, the phenolic measurement, the 30 ppms, was measured from the malted barley itself rather than the final product. Now you'll lose a little bit of that smokiness throughout the distillation and a little bit throughout the maturation as those phenols get to interact with other molecules and form things like phenylethyl acetate, which tastes like honey, etc. So Scotland, as we discussed previously, used to use peat for drying the malt of their barley across Scotland. However, in around the 1960s is when the mainland of Scotland kind of removed themselves from having peaty whiskies, and just Isla stayed continuing to have peaty whiskies. So yeah. All right, let's try this whiskey out. So you can see it's pretty light, a nice golden color there. In the nose, you'll definitely be able to pick up some of the smokiness. But there's also your typical citrusy notes and honey notes that you'll find in Speysides. A little like roasted cocoa beans. And some grassiness kind of that goes along with the peaty. The peatiness is not overpowering. I think it's balanced nicely by the honey that you get. It doesn't seem disjointed. I know a lot of people will say that Balvenie Peat Week can be a little bit confused, but I think it's really nice. It plays a good symphony in my mouth here. The sweetness balanced with the smokiness that you're getting, neither one being too overpowering, and you know, you'll get some of those earthy notes, but it's more like roasted, candied nuts. It's really nice. It's pretty delicate, so it's only 14 years old, and it's matured entirely in used bourbon barrels, whether those are first fill casks or refill casks or a combination. I'm not entirely sure. But you're not getting too much coming from the wood. You're just getting enough where those phenols are starting to react. You're pulling some out from the wood, and it's giving you a lot of honey, a lot of sweetness, maybe some caramel as well in here. So I think it plays out really nicely. It's a very delicious whiskey. I know when I first got it, shout out to my friend Bisha who got this for me. When I first got it, I was a little skeptical because, you know, Balvenie is so good at what they do with their Speyside whiskeys that, you know, they're really good at having the honey and the citrus notes that I didn't know how they would do with a peated whiskey, and I think they did a really great job. I think this is quite delicious. Yeah, I think that's all I had to say about this. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks.